Is Taylor Swift an authentic musical genius or one of the most engineered brands in modern history? Taylor Swift is not an accidental girl next door. The story you've been sold, a shy songwriter with a diary who loves her fans and is just so sad about another heartbreak, that's all branding. Even her awkward dancing, fashion choices, and a recent obsession with baking.
Have a different baking obsession every 6 months.
That's all very crafted marketing strategy. In my opinion, before being a music genius, most importantly, Taylor is the most strategic, calculated marketing mind of our generation. She built the whole emotional empire around her brand on purpose. Every lyric, every Easter egg, every song title is there for a reason. It's so strategic, attention engineering, to stay on top, to dominate pop culture globally, and to set new records in revenue and scale. In this video, we're going to break down how Taylor Swift became too big to fail, and we're going to do it in 5 parts: the rise, the backlash, the survival, the dominance, and the future. And we're going to discuss any lessons you can take to make your brand unstoppable in your career, in your personal life, online, or even if you want to be an artist or creator in any way. Because I don't believe in too much luck, I believe in hard work and strategy, and controversially, I don't believe Taylor Swift has an extraordinary, one-of-a-kind talent. I believe more in her hard work, in her intelligence, in her dedication, and of course, a meticulously crafted brand and business strategy that I will exactly break down in this video. Taylor Swift is undoubtedly idol of millions. She won countless Grammys. She has the biggest tour on earth. She dominated the pop culture for so long, which made her a self-made billionaire. I think one of the first women in history that became a billionaire just from her music. I think she's basically one of the most famous people in the world. Yet she's often marked as overrated, mediocre. Music critics really are divided whether she's super talented or just relatable and plain. Media branded her as a snake. Recently, she's been called a mean girl several times. She's been criticized by environmentalists and others by being too rich and using her plane too much. She's been booed at Super Bowl, the biggest sports event, and the president of the United States literally wrote that he hates her. And many young people question, is she too rich to deserve it? Despite all that, her recent album, The Life of a Showgirl, is already not just streaming but commercial success. At this point, I don't think it matters what the music critics going to say about her album. I don't think she cares or it's going to impact her fans. And it's all because Taylor Swift is an amazing businesswoman. I'm a Swiftie not for her music, but for her marketing strategy. Obviously, over the years, when you're such a big media person, you're gonna face backlash. And even before she became a billionaire and had a private plane, she has faced a lot of criticism for always playing the victim, for dating all the different boys and then exposing the personal life in her songs. I think many of those things worked in her favor. I obviously realize it's been hard for her personally, but in such cases when it's not a super big controversy and it's just about, having too many boyfriends, this can be turned around into good press. And I think that helped her create that brand of American prom queen, Miss Perfect, who just wants to find love, hasn't realized what she needs, and just been treated by boys badly. People feel like they want to protect her. Taylor is the BFF. They recognize themselves, or maybe their friends, in her stories. And hence, a lot of the times people say, Swifties will come for you. Don't criticize Taylor Swift or she will unleash her army of Swifties. I don't think that she will, but basically her community is very, very strong. But these are small issues. Let's discuss some bigger issues of her brand. I think one of the biggest enemies of Taylor Swift is fatigue of her brand and recent fatigue of celebrities, of them being perfect, of them being rich and living this luxurious life, and just people probably overgrown a little bit, that, cute girls that dates boyfriends kind of image, and perhaps we'll want to see a more mature picture of Taylor Swift. There is a big cultural shift against perfection, more kind of messy brat girl. This is a big competition for Taylor Swift, but most importantly, of course, everyone knows she's a billionaire. Being a billionaire kind of has this villain side. A lot of people just saying that being too rich is not healthy. Of course, it's about her music and her talents that brought her this, but at the same time, she does have a lot of products that she sells. She has lots of properties. And a lot of people might think that perhaps she's just too rich to be good. And when you become so famous, the scary thing is that a lot of people expect you to say things on things that you might not be an expert. For instance, politics. When you are expressing your political opinion, because you have to, sometimes you will alienate people that don't agree with you politically. And choosing sides can be very polarizing, especially in the US nowadays. You can basically inflict hate of a president of the United States, which I think is obviously very ungentlemanlike of him. Several times, Trump has posted something on social media about Taylor Swift. And the final thing that is a threat to Taylor Swift brand is people that she is associated with. Recently, she has been dragged into Blake Lively's drama with Justin Baldoni, where Blake Lively has filed a lawsuit against her director and co-star Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment. While she was promoting this movie, she has said numerous times that Taylor Swift and her were working on this movie together. There is Taylor Swift's music in it. Taylor is my BFF. Justin Baldoni hit back. He said a lot of things were not as Blake described. She has used Taylor Swift's name to gain power over the movie. People start thinking, oh, is Taylor Swift the same? Is she using her power to bully small directors? Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
She's a mean girl. And the whole nice girl thing is a brand.
When she have realized that she's getting a lot of negative press, I think that she quickly said, look, I'm not friends with Blake Lively. She's not my party. She's not in my booth at Super Bowl. I am actually a victim here. There were leaks that Taylor Swift's dad had to protect Taylor and ran to Candace Owens to tell him that actually Blake Lively blackmailed poor Taylor Swift by saying that she'll release all of the text messages if Taylor doesn't support her. We'll never know the truth, but what we know is that public scandals of her friends can really drag her down as well, and she's very, very keen to not be dragged in and solve those problems as soon as possible. Taylor can take the backlash, the fights with other celebrities, and turn it into her favor through storytelling in her music, through very crafted PR and public image. She has a very famous publicist that has been with her for years, helping release and control the media the way they see fit. And of course, when you're dragged in a public breakup or a public feud with a celebrity, that can all evoke emotions, and emotions help you sell your music, sell your products, sell your tours, and sell your image. Her brand does fuel on a lot of emotional things like lost friendships, lost love, feeling isolated, feeling lonely, feeling misunderstood. And she has created this whole emotional universe and world around her persona, her music, her art. Taylor Swift at this point is too big to collapse. She's embedded in our culture. She's like Starbucks. It's everywhere. Sometimes you can't escape buying coffee from there, listening to her song. You will come across Taylor Swift in the news, in a cafe. Look at how many brands supported the release of her album. Look how many brands supported her engagement. And of course, we all know at least one Swiftie. I know quite a lot. Here are the things that she has done that help her control the narrative, control the public opinion, and just basically create this Swiftie army. The first thing is cult-like marketing. Good marketing is sometimes quite extreme. It can feel like a cult. People want to belong somewhere. They want to belong to particular groups. They want to belong to a particular movement and feel like they are part of the journey. And Taylor really understood that. And she realized that we need to create different aspects of her brand, of her world, that will feel like people don't just listen to an album or a song. They are part of a bigger group. They're part of a society. They're part of an insider organization, let's say. So the first thing that create that kind of mystical universe is obviously symbolism and Easter eggs, the hidden messages in lyrics and videos. It's the numbers she uses, the colors.
Choose.
It kind of keeps people obsessing over it, not just listening to music, but thinking about it after you stop listening. It's about the online discussion it creates. It's about doing the research. And quite smartly, she doesn't do it too complicated. I feel that the level of Easter eggs is pretty simple. If the symbolism or the lyrics would be too difficult, people will find it hard to relate. People want to kind of guess, but not think about it too hard. In the end of the day, her brand is all about simplicity, being accessible to everyone, having very young audience. So having a door in a specific color is something that even a child can understand. And obviously being complex in your metaphors can confuse people. Simplicity sells better. Lesson here for branding: we shouldn't overcomplicate our messages. If we want something to be accessible to a lot of people, we can just pick one element like a color or a symbol and really repeat it over and over again so it sticks. The easiest codes like color orange or the door is the easiest to remember. If we move from, coding and colors and phrases from cult-like marketing, obviously another strength that helps Taylor Swift is her storytelling technique. Each album has its own narrative, a plot, a specific era Taylor's discussing. It's basically like another season of your show. Let's say you've been watching the show for a while, maybe it's not as good anymore, but you want to keep watching. You know the character, you know what's been before, you want to hear what happens. Obviously, there have been some stories about her life in press, and you kind of want to hear her story because the press has given you just a little bit. There are some speculations, some gossips in the press, but you want to hear what actually Taylor has been through. It is a gossip, and gossip, of course, is very juicy, and people want to know, who broke up with who and how she felt. Taylor is one of the few people that can create TV show experience through different musical albums. And she's not afraid to spill things, she's not afraid to say that she's been dumped, how she's been dumped. She's not afraid to bully or shame her past boyfriends. A lot of people wouldn't want to take this out. It's their personal lives. They wouldn't want to come clean through about the feelings. Or maybe she doesn't. Maybe she just creates this image. We will never know. But it feels like she is opening her heart to you. Of course, that is all to do with relatability, of being that girl next door, of being that friend that you really, really care about. You feel like you know her. And she does that very, very cautiously as well. And I feel like being a billionaire, it's not relatable, right? Her whole life is pretty much very complicated. She has to write songs, she manages people, properties. She has all this safety issues, being one of the most famous people in the world. There are people who probably stalk her. There are political pressures. She has so much going on and has nothing to do with our lives. It's very much unrelatable. I am sure that, she just shows in her albums like 5% of her life. She goes on this podcast, she talks about bread and how she bakes and so on. But honestly, I don't think that this is what's really in her mind. She has a lot of things going on. She's a commercial genius. Or she just has lots of people that run it for her, which is also not the image she creates. Imagine having so many employees, such a big team, have to create something, think of ideas. You're very busy. You are probably more like a CEO of a big bank than a girl next door. But she doesn't show that side, right? It's all about, look, I'm just in love with Travis, I'm making bread, I'm creating songs. And it's fine. She can tell us whatever she wants, she can portray the image she wants, but I think it's a little bit fake. I think it's maybe not the word fake I should use, but it's pretty much crafted for her branding. For example, her fashion choices. She is one of the most famous people in the world. She can hire anyone to help her create style. I'm sure she can have her own clothing line. She can be fashionable, she can set trends, but she doesn't do that. And I feel it's not because she doesn't want to. I think that she does have all these fashionable friends, and obviously she's pretty much into all those brands and things that make people pretty. But I don't think she does it because if she'll be like Lady Gaga or even like Beyonce, it's too unrelatable. She kind of wears something that we can copy. On a stage, she's more like a Disney princess rather than a fashionista, right? She's using her costumes to like continue on her symbolism, make it very simple, very understandable. She doesn't want to overcomplicate it for a reason. Like think about the friendship bracelets. I mean, what is more simple, tacky? I mean, I love that kind of stuff, but I am not a fashion icon. But she makes it feel like friendship bracelets is what Taylor would wear. But I don't think it's pretty much true. So she created this American sweetheart persona despite being a billionaire and having this massive empire. But another thing she does, she creates clear calls to action. She tells her fans what to do.
You can pre-order it now.
You can pre-order it now? There we go.
Yeah, on my website.
Okay, I'll be right back, guys.
And it's another marketing technique. So when you mail someone as a marketer or when you create a campaign, you say, buy this or subscribe to this page. She does the same thing. She says, pre-order my album, do this, book tickets to my show, wear this, have friendship bracelets, and so on. She actually talks to her audience and she manipulates them by giving them clear calls to actions. And that's great because a lot of pop stars are kind of mysterious and inaccessible. They don't talk to the fans. They kind of decide what you want to do. I'm just here for the music. Taylor's not like that. She's like, look, you need to pre-book my album here today. This is how you do it. And I think that really, really helps with sales, but also for people to feel connected with her because they feel like, okay, Taylor told me to do that. And the final thing that Taylor does that proves that she's a marketing genius is that she puts fans' experience first, and I think her music taste or her desire second. This is what a good business does. They think about the client experience, they think about what the customer wants, and only then they think about what they want. Because it's all about the sale, right? Or the experience, the client experience, customer experience. And Taylor is probably the best customer experience genius as well. You know, she's 35. She's been through 12 albums now, I think. Of course, she wants to create different music. I'm sure she has it in her. I'm sure she can write more complicated lyrics. I'm sure she wants to experiment, but she cares about her fans. She wants them to have fun. She wants them to experience. And she knows her audience is quite young. She even said that she wants her show to feel like someone is scrolling through TikTok. She wants all those different things changing. She wants simple pictures. She wants hooks. Someone who creates music from the heart or the soul would talk in TikTok or would think in TikTok language, right? Or think about the audience loving TikTok. They would just produce music how they see fit. But Taylor knows that her audience needs to have fun, that her audience needs to enjoy her music, and ultimately, obviously, attend more and more shows. So we did explain how she survived it, how she built her brand line. I want to talk about the dominance because it goes further than that. Yes, she's a marketing genius, but there are other things that have worked in her favor that will make her dominate and has helped her dominate the industry for so long. So I think the first thing that she does is she controls the narrative. It's not by accident what media says about her. We have learned quite a lot from Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and other scandals in the media recently. PR is a big business, and whatever big news outlets release is pretty much crafted by the celebrities themselves or someone in the industry. Does have a big PR team, but she also releases the albums to control the narrative. That's why there are so many of them. So let's say there is another scandal with Blake Lively. She releases her Showgirl, Life of a Showgirl album. Look, this is me. This is my life. This is what I've been going through. This is my friends now, Sabrina Carpenter. This is me getting engaged with this person. You know, it's not secretive. She's out in the open. She goes to different podcasts with her fiancé. She posts on Instagram things. That's really important because you don't hear from somewhere else, right? And she tells it herself through public appearances that she defines from social media posts and, of course, through her albums. She controls the narrative. She tells us what's been going on. She owns her products. She's recently have had a successful deal owning all her music. I don't want to go into detail into that, but basically everything she sells goes back to her earnings. She doesn't share it with any companies anymore. So basically Taylor Swift owns Taylor Swift, and you kind of feel like, well, if I'm buying something from her, I'm buying from Taylor Swift. But also she doesn't have anyone telling her, look, that's what you need to do to sell this, or we want to try this. And I think that, she sometimes would release an album that is not super polished or crazy creative, but she would better have speed over polish. How can you create the whole album while you were touring the biggest tour on earth? But she did it. She said that she wrote The Life of a Short Girl while she was going on Eras tour. But she doesn't need perfection. She wants to release it as soon as possible, to create the narrative so people know what she has to say and don't say it for her. I don't think there is such things as self-made. Very, very rarely in this world. And I think that Taylor definitely has a very strong team around her. Lots of people know that her parents supported her from the beginning. They have bought a stake in a production company that recorded her music, and they've been by her side all along. I think even her brother works with her. And I feel that's great. She has people around her that care about her, but they're also very smart business people as well. As I said, she's not the girl next door writing her songs in the bedroom. She has an empire. It's very, very complicated business worth billions of dollars with billions of revenue. Of course, she has a big commercial team around her. And having people you can trust is a lot. I'm sure that her family and friends create a very strong team that contributed to this success. Let's finish with the future. I think that yes, Taylor Swift has a lot of threats. Maybe people will get fatigued with her cute brand, Miss Americana, Miss Perfect. Maybe she'll need to grow up, but I think she can milk it a few more years. And obviously, the marriage that is going to come along is going to fuel the media even more. And I feel that she can reinvent into, being a young mother, young wife. And a lot of people will follow that lead as well. But the fact that she recently had that master's deal and the fact that she's releasing albums over and over again, I feel that says that she's just beginning. She is not tired in a good way. I feel that this is not the peak. The Eras tour is not the peak. We will hear more. I feel that now she has this power couple energy with Travis Kelce, who is also very social media and media orientated person for a sports person, having this big podcast, and he knows how to play the media really well himself, and he's also very hardworking. So I think that this is not the peak. She's going to continue to control the narrative, but it's going to be very, very well crafted to make sure that her whole brand image and journey stays the same. I don't think she's going to become mysterious songwriter with very deep lyrics that no one can understand. She'll continue to be accessible. She'll continue to be symbolic for wider public, and will continue to sell those songs that have been working really, really well. I'm sure she will drop people like Blake Lively if she needs to stay on top. I think that it's not about the money for Taylor Swift. It's about her fans. It's about staying relevant, staying on top of the world. I feel that, of course, it comes with a big price of safety, speculation, political pressures. I do hope that she can mature a little bit. This is just my personal opinion. And I did wish that she would use her public image to better cause. For example, I have explored her Instagram last 10 posts, and I haven't seen any big messages she wants to give except, things about herself and her products. And maybe this is the right thing, because when you don't create division in society and opinions, that's the best for your business. But if she looks back at her legacy, is that really what Taylor Swift wants to give? What really big changes in the world she wants to achieve now that she has all this world's attention? So I really hope to see more from Taylor Swift, and let me know whether you enjoyed this part of Lessons in Marketing and what's your opinion on Taylor Swift's brand.